Hi, in this video we are going to use some time order expressions to clarify instructions about how to prepare for an emergency. And before we start, please match the following words with their corresponding definitions. I have a list of words here or phrases and definitions. Think about what they mean and match them, please. Pause my video, complete the activity, please. All right, thank you very much. Let's look at the answers. Supply kit. What is a supply kit? It's a collection of basic items that your household may need in the event of an emergency. So it's a collection of supplies, let's say, in case of an emergency. What is a shelter? A shelter is something beneath, behind, or within which a person, animal, or thing is protected from adverse conditions, or a refuge. That is a nice definition of a shelter. It's a physical shelter for protection. Storm shutter. What's this? It's materials and products specifically for the purpose of preventing window damage from storms. Nice. So they kind of shut the windows so that they are protected from the storms. What is to unplug? Unplug is to disconnect, for example, an appliance, a telephone, etc., by removing its plug from the outlet, from an electric outlet. What is plywood? It's wood that has plies, that has layers. A strong, thin wooden board consisting of two or more layers glued and pressed together. That is plywood. All right. Thank you very much for completing that activity. Now, please read the following instructions about how to prepare in case of a hurricane. That's going to be the emphasis of this lesson. Let's read the text together. Prepare an emergency supply kit in advance. All right. So prepare that kit. To begin, locate the nearest shelter and the different routes you can take to get there from your home. All right? Next, prepare a stock of emergency food. Means a stock is a set, a group, a collection of emergency food, water, and emergency medications, things that you might need in case of an emergency. Then, cover doors and windows and close storm shutters or nail plywood over exterior window frames to protect them. Good. Finally, unplug appliances, turn off the gas, electricity, and water. Good. Let's see that we understood this by answering these simple questions. When should we prepare the emergency supply kit? The answer is, they say in advance, so before that happens, because you cannot look for supplies if you are already dealing with the emergency. What is the last thing we should do when preparing for a hurricane? Look at the list. Unplug appliances, turn off the electricity, the gas, the water. All right? Good. Now, using expressions from that text, I would like to exemplify some time order expressions that can give us an idea about when to do something. All right? For example, in the text, we have these sentences. To begin, locate the nearest shelter. So that's the first thing that you do, or something that you do at the beginning. Next, prepare a stock of emergency food. All right? So when you say to begin, and then you say next, when you say then, you are using some expressions to indicate when you should be doing something. All right? I have a very good list of expressions that you can use to indicate when a person should do something. So here they are. To talk about what happens before the sequence, you could say before or earlier, previously, or previous to, prior to, or preceding that, or in advance. When before you start doing something, you can use those expressions. Now, to start the sequence itself, you could say first, or to begin, initially, at the beginning, to begin, to start with, to begin with, to start with, or in the first place. For the sequence to continue, you could say next, after, following, second or third, the first step, the second step, etc. Then, later, which are more general. To refer to what happens or what people should do sometimes, you could say sometimes, at times, occasionally, periodically, even every now and then, intermittently. So sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. And the last part of your sequence, or the last items of your sequence, could be preceded by last or finally, in conclusion, to conclude, to finish, at the end. What you should be doing all the time, always, you could say always, at all times, constantly, all the time. And sometimes some instructions that, or some things that you could do only if necessary. You could also say, if necessary, to specify some instruction that it may happen or it may not. So no matter where you locate it, it will, if you say if necessary, means that only in the case you absolutely need it. All right? So to practice these expressions, I have this for you. Add the following time order expressions to clarify these steps in order to prepare for a hurricane. So the steps are not very clear. We can add some details that indicate when you do something. All right? So you have these expressions here. At all times, first of all, if necessary, next, periodically, then. That's easy. So you insert them there in the text where you think they should go. All right? So take a moment, complete the activity, and I'll see you in a moment. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for completing the activity. It was not very challenging, I hope. And let's see your answers. All right? What's the first one? First of all, become familiar with evacuation routes and be prepared to follow local evacuation instructions. That's very important. What you could say? Then, or next, either of those could go there. Then, prepare a battery-operated light. Important. Then the other one, next or then. Next, put your most important personal documents in a sealed bag. Oh, that's really important. What's the next expression that you used? Keep an eye on the water level near your house at all times. I think that is good. Not at all times, not if necessary. At all times, you need to do that. Next, request assistance from the authorities if necessary, in case you need it. You could say periodically. No, only if necessary. Good. And the last one is, listen to the radio or watch the news periodically to stay informed about the hurricane. Yes. So not all the time because you're busy doing some other things, some more vital things, but periodically, like every hour or 2 hours, just be informed, stay informed with the news. All right, that's very important. Right now, I would like to pause my video so that you can listen to the pronunciation by the native speaker and, as usual, repeat after the native speaker so that you can practice your pronunciation. So I'm pausing my video now. Listen, practice your pronunciation, please.
First of all, become familiar with evacuation routes and be prepared to follow local evacuation instructions. Then, prepare a battery-operated light. Next, put your most important personal documents in a sealed bag. Keep an eye on the water level near your house at all times. Request assistance from the authorities if necessary. Listen to the radio or watch the news periodically to stay informed about the hurricane.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, remember that we have been using these time order expressions so that you can guide the person who is following some instructions in terms of the sequence that they should follow to complete the recommendations that you are providing. All right. Thank you very much for completing this activity, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.